Magen Margalit, thank you so much for joining me today in Startup Nation United. I really appreciate your time. Your background is fascinating. I'll just say that we just talked about how you recently left after 19 years at Bank Hapoalim. Most recently, you were CIO, obviously holding incredibly important positions. Today, you're at Code Value, also in a very very important position, and so putting aside for a second your day to day, you've also taken a very active role in October 7th to help understand how do we take what's happening in the war and happening here in Israel and locally, but bringing it to other local geographies that don't necessarily experience what the local here is experiencing, and that's an important an important feat and an important endeavor. And so I have here right in front of me, the westisnext.org, this initiative. But before we even dive into what that is, I want you to take me back a little bit about yourself. Tell me, a little bit about your journey, and then I want to get to where were you on October 7th?
Okay, so first of all, let me thank you for having this opportunity. And as you said, I was most of my career I was in Bank Hapoalim, which is Israel's largest bank. I did a lot of roles regarding infrastructure, managing infrastructure departments, including mainframe, storage, backups, data infrastructure. Basically, all the infrastructure things they have in the bank. During the COVID-19 period, I was in charge of the business continuity of the bank, including the IT department, and it was a fascinating period, creating the possibilities to work remotely in the bank. And it was a very, very comprehensive effort. And at the end, the last role that I had was a digital transformation leader, which basically completed all the digital transformation program of the bank. Today, I'm at Code Value, as you said. I'm a CDO, Chief Digital Officer, and basically my role is to help organizations that are doing digital transformation journey to maximize the benefits that they get from the multi-million-dollar investments that they're doing in order to be digital and get a cost-efficient competitive advantage. On October 7th, I was at home like most Israelis. It was Saturday morning, and I heard all the SMS notification starting to alarm that there are rockets launched into Israel area. And in the first few days, basically most of the Israelis were a bit shocked. There was a lot of individual initiative that started to arise from the surface in order to help the country in this difficult hour. A few days later, the business sectors started to recover and understand that they need also to join and collaborate with the efforts of helping the country in this war efforts. And when I came back to work, basically, I thought what Code Value with its capabilities can do in order to help. And one of the things that I came up with is that we saw that the Israeli advocacy is not being able to transfer the feelings, how it is to sit in a coffee shop or at your home or in work and hear the sounds of explosions and rocket missiles fired at you, and sirens and alarms, and they don't really understand what we in Israel are dealing with almost every day. Even today, we had a lot of missiles shot at us. And the idea was to take a supreme software architect that we have in our company, and to create a web application very fast that will take all the rockets that were shot into Israeli areas since October 7th and try to simulate how it would look like if it were shot to London areas, to Berlin, to Rome, Los Angeles, and any other city that we felt that it is important to transfer the emotions into. And we added some sirens alarm so you can hear that you should go into a safe place in Greenwich, in London, or in Chelsea Market in New York. And basically, it would make an urgent sense of the matter that you need to go right now to a safe place. And we also had information about the missiles barrage itself, how many people were injured, how many people, unfortunately, were maybe casualties and dead. And it enabled us to create a feeling that would pass through to people that don't live in Israel, and we want them to feel what we are feeling. After we published this web application to press websites and to advocacy leaders, we started to get requests. Please add Berlin in Germany. Please add Cape Town in South Africa. Please add some and more locations.
And who did these requests come in from?
A variety of people. It came from advocacy leaders. It came from the Israeli ambassador of Cape Town, of South Africa, sent us. My CEO, Tali, got a request from a co-CEO friend in Germany that she knows and it's a friend and wanted to help and try to pass the feeling to her groups, WhatsApp groups, and a connection in Germany. So it was from a variety of sources. But the most important thing is that we got responses, that it helps, and we got responses from people that are not Israelis, and they weren't familiar with the feeling of seeing that your house is under fire and there are missiles and rockets that are shot into your house, above your house, and they got the feeling how is it, and I think that it was very helpful for the Israeli advocacy. I think that we got some points by being able to pass through this feeling.
Wow. Why was it important for you personally to do this? So why did you feel that, being an impactful player in the advocacy domain is going to make a meaningful impact from your end?
I think that we Israelis are very frustrated from the response that we get in the world regarding October 7th, not every time, but especially regarding October 7th event and what comes afterwards. The world really seems not to understand, some of the world seems that it doesn't really understand what we are facing and what we are dealing with. And they're looking, and I can agree that there are other things that the world should look at, but it also needs to be understanding to what Israeli citizens are facing every day and the reality that we are facing. And I personally very, very frustrated when I hear some major leaders in the world, even celebrities or leaders in the United Nations that have the opportunity to help, and they don't see and don't understand the reality that we're facing. And we thought that moving this feeling that we are feeling every day and transferring it to their home, to their places of going to work and going to coffee shops, and will make them better understand the reality, better understand that it's not logical that citizens will sit and work under fire.
100%. I think that ultimately, what you're touching on is probably one of the, like you mentioned, one of the most important parts of the conflict that are being felt by, I think, every citizen. And last question: when you're looking at the development process of this, how did this jump come about? So October 7th, everybody's in shock. How did this really come together? This the West is next. This from the development side. I mean, how did you operationalize it, and how long did it take? When did it go live?
So basically, as I said, after October 7th, most of us were in shock. It took us a few days to recover, And basically, I was involved in a lot of initiatives of moving drones from one place to an army unit individually, and helping get some devices and equipment for military soldiers, and doing some help for a major hospital in Israel in connecting them with a startup company that will help with AI and BI technology identify absence and casualties. And after we did all these personal initiatives, the business, my company, we had a management meeting, and we said, okay, as a company, what can we do in order to help? And we had some areas that we decided that we can, with our capabilities, be a major effect. One of them was creating this web application. Because we are a software company, we have a lot of developers and software architectures. It can be very easy for us to create a web application and launch it via one of the clouds into the world and try to help. So we conducted a team of 2 developers and 1 UI UX architect. And basically, within 2 or 3 days, we had the first version of this website up on the air, launched to the press, basically. And afterwards, we just inserted more and more capabilities as the requests were coming in.
Phenomenal. Again, I really want to thank you for the time. Obviously, I think what we were speaking about here resonates well with your name, again. So thank you very much for the effort and for all the work you've done with this, but in general with everything in our ecosystem. You're obviously a huge part of it. So thank you so much for contribution, effort, and best of luck.
Thank you very much, and I hope that we will meet in better circumstances.
100%. 100%.
Thank you.